Welcome to Eye Contact. I'm Richard Packard, and I'm here today with Sorcha Ní Dhubhghaill talking about surgical training. So welcome, Sorcha. It wasn't all that long ago that you were in training, a long time ago that I was in training. Is there anything you might have done differently to prepare for your future career in ophthalmology?
So you're right, it wasn't too long ago that I was in training. And while I was really happy with the exposure they got and the trainers that were crazy enough to allow me to take my first steps with them, I realize now that I could have been much more prepared, because the more you learn outside of the operating room, the more you get to do inside the operating room. Preparation and advanced knowledge to prove to your trainer that you're worth trusting, that you've done the thinking, you've done the practice, and now at the moment of performing the surgery on your first patients, that your trainer can have full confidence in you, that you're taking this seriously and you're going to go for the best outcome for your patient. I would have known now that there are so many more resources, videos, courses, and ways to learn how to do your cataract surgery before you're under the stress moment in the operating room.
So do you think things have changed very considerably from when you trained, what the young people have available now?
I think it wasn't so long ago, so the techniques and the requirements are very much the same. But the videos, the home resources, simulations, all of this is much better. I had a brief period of using the 3D simulator, but it was only coming to the fore after I was in training. The wet lab opportunities, the dry lab tools and instruments, these are much better than were available at my time, and they can really get you farther into your cataract surgery on your own time.
But when you started out at the beginning of your training, how did that ultimately turn out relative to what you thought was going to happen when you at the beginning?
Yeah, that's quite a difficult question, because I didn't have that many preconceptions. You sort of come out of medical school and you say, well, eyes are interesting. I think I'll do eyes. But you don't realize that that's so diverse a field. There's cornea, there's glaucoma, there's strabismus, pediatrics. And what you don't know beforehand is which one of these areas will take your attention and draw your career in that way. So I probably would have wanted to know I spent a long time in retina before I realized I was due for cornea. So I think I probably could have saved some time by better thinking which part of the eye fits me best.
And do you think that the role of mentors had anything to do with your decisions relative to what you were going to do? And if that was the case, what would you say to somebody who was going into ophthalmology in that particular regard?
I think mentors are absolutely crucial in inspiring you and showing you what you can do in your career. I was very lucky to have a lot of female professor mentors who were able to show me that you can balance things in your career. You can be a person who has a home life and a career at the uppermost levels, and that you don't have to choose one over the other. These people are the ones that inspire you to say, okay, they tread the path, and it's that little bit easier for me to keep following. It's massively inspiring, and if you don't have somebody to light the candle and show you the way, then it's hard to keep motivated. It's really hard to keep energy to find new techniques and try new things if you don't have the fire lit from somewhere.
Well, you're in that position now, of course, because you're training your own residents. I mean, how does your own particular experience influence this approach? Because you're doing it in two very different environments from where you actually learnt yourself.
It's true. I originally trained in Ireland, which is a very, very different system of training than in continental Europe, in particular Belgium, where I work now. There was a lot more emphasis on getting you started in your cataract surgery from day one. You'd be expected to be in the operating room thinking about where you'd place your incisions, even in your first year. And that's almost unheard of in places like Belgium and Germany. We're trying to integrate more of the surgical aspects into the continental training, but it can be quite difficult. As a trainer, you want the patient that you've brought to the operating room to be in the best possible care, but you're also aware that you won't be around forever, so you must ensure that the ones that come behind you are trained to the uppermost levels. So it's a balance between progress and trust, and your trainee has to earn your trust that you let them take steps further. a critical step in the trainee's process is to understand the word stop. And that stop doesn't mean pull everything out of the eye. Stop means stop. And I was told the first thing before I did anything in the operating room is, you better have stopped by the time I get to the sound.
Very good. So finally, there are all sorts of new technologies out there. There's artificial intelligence, goodness knows what, and that's developing so rapidly. It might be suggested that in 10 years' time, trainers will be completely irrelevant. What do you think about that?
It depends on what you think the job of a trainer is. Is the job of a trainer to teach you a manual dexterous skill, or is the job to teach you to be a surgeon? Because training involves a lot of counselling after complications, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of fear as to whether you did the right thing for the right patient. I'm not sure artificial intelligence can put its hand on your back and say, you know what, you'll get it next time, which is sometimes what you need to do. There's so much more to the profession than how sharp the knife is. And I don't think artificial intelligence will be replacing the trainers just yet.
No, I think you're probably right. Well, thank you, Sorcha. For more information, visit us at eurotimes.org.